Brandon Huckabee is here as well, so I appreciate they'll be here today. I want everybody to know that based on a unanimous decision of the council last night, we entered into an agreement with these gentlemen here in a project that will be a big development and kickstart for Steveville, Texas. And so we want to recognize that today. This is Jerry Crenshaw, Paul Barham.
No way.
Barham, there you go. I kept saying, it didn't have an N in there. Paul Barham, and they're developers. They're gonna bring a project they're gonna have a chance to talk to y'all about. This has been a project that's been going on for several months. Been a long haul. It's been a work between SRH, the CEDA, Steveville Economic Development Authority, and the City of Stephenville. I want to introduce a couple of staff who worked really hard on this project. Alan Barnes, and where is he? Where's Jeremy? There he is. Our assistant city manager. They worked really hard on this project, and also I'm gonna let Shelby introduce some folks with CEDA and how they worked on this project.
Yes, I'm Shelby Slauson. I'm with the Economic Development Authority, and this is Jeff Sanford, our dynamic executive director.
Don't dance.
Who is under instruction not to dance or sing
He's
today.
gonna break dance for us, he said.
And we have the lovely Ashley Furbacher, who is our assistant director, and they have been instrumental in bringing pieces of this project here today.
So we're glad everybody's here because it's a big introduction. It's a big deal coming. But I'm gonna start with recognizing Kenny Weldon. Stand up. I'm gonna talk about Kenny for a minute. I asked Kenny to be here for a lot of reasons. One of them is he started this mess. I don't know how many years ago it was Kenny came to us, he started challenging the city council in the city of Stephenville to beyond who we were today. And that's what he did for us and did for me. Challenged me a lot. And so the whole CEDA concept was what he brought city council. It was overwhelmingly approved by the city voters. And we're just now starting to see some of the fruit of the spirit. So I wanted to recognize Kenny because I was a little emotional here, I'm sorry. Kenny got a lot of grief over it. Good stuff. Okay. It was an overwhelming vote in the city to do CEDA. This is a good deal. We're moving forward. So I'm gonna let Jeff for just a minute tell us a little bit of a few of the projects that we've done so far, and give you a little before we get into our current project, which I'm gonna let them describe here in a minute. I'll let them give you sort of a taste of what's about to come.
Thank you, Mayor. Wow, this is pretty cool. That's an official economic development term, cool, and if you hear me say awesome, that's another one. We are very, very pleased, very excited about what is happening here. I just think it goes without saying that we have some other board members from CEDA, both past and present, in the room. Joe, raise your hand. So we have one that had to leave. We appreciate you. Your work has led up to this. I'm kind of the recipient of a lot of this. I came in about 8 months ago, and we've been able to work very, very hard those 8 months, but there's a lot of groundwork that had to be done. As Doug referenced, with things that happened even before he became mayor, a lot of hills and valleys and such, and you can't just be in this world project-based. We have to create something sustainable and something that allows us to continue with the spirit of growth and prosperity, that allows us to move forward, not just one project, maybe one project at a time, but something that allows us to think globally, but something that fits for Stephenville. So we've been charged with a lot of those kinds of projects over the last 3 years. Some of them have been, we have our own quiet zone. There's an inside joke about quiet zones up here at the table, but we have our own quiet zone in economic development because so much of what we do is under the radar. And we apologize, but then we don't for that, because so much of that is to protect our citizens and make sure that we're vetting each and every project to the extent that our citizens are protected, that the city of Stephenville, from a municipality standpoint, and everybody else that's a partner in this process, that they're protected. And that we have the best projects, working with the best people to have the absolute best results, to grow our economic tax base here for the citizens of Stephenville, Texas, the greatest city on the planet. That's not a bad line. Very quickly, you know, and again, this is not about some of these things, but Mayor asked me to talk about it. We will focus today when I get done and I shut up, we get focused on the excitement about today. But, you know, we've completed 7 facade grants to help businesses improve what they have going in their business, to make it look a little bit better. We've had 6 complete had 2 projects with joint collaboration, or maybe we just had a hand in from an infrastructure role or something along those lines. We've had some recruitment and workforce development that has gone on for some time to match some of the work needs of our businesses and bring those workers to our community. I have a thumbprint of I don't know, 7 or 8 or 9 businesses specifically. I'm not going to mention each of those because we work for all of the businesses and all of the citizens, regardless if you have a business, to try to grow that. I think one of the interesting things is, as I mentioned, not only the one project, but we have to build the bench. We have to continue to move along, thinking about tomorrow. Today, I've been in 3 or 4 different meetings already that had nothing to do with what we're talking about today, because you have to build that bench of economic development projects. And I'll get to work with Alan in the city, with Stedco, with the chamber, with other people that are represented in this room, so we can make these things happen. Our portfolio right now that we're managing is $261.5 million. And those are the projects that we're working on for Stephenville, Texas today. So, it's gonna be a good year.
Could be good, thank you.
Thank you.
Some of the project we're gonna talk to today, or here to particularly discuss, there were a lot of things that went into consideration, a lot of negotiations, and I appreciate Mark sitting as a negotiator with us on the city council during the negotiations, did a good job there. The council trusted what you did, I appreciate that. Also, I don't know how many of y'all know Juan Richland is supposed to be here, that there's something going on out of Charleston right now, so he's kind of kept over. But I remember, how many of y'all seen Juan down on the floor of the basketball field, stomping on the floor? You know, and everybody, as a matter of fact, the big deal used to be to sit on the first 2 rows back behind Juan because you wanted to watch him do that instead of watching the basketball game. Well, I remember the night Juan called me and said, I need to talk to you, Doug. And I said, okay. So I called him back the next day and he got on the phone. He started talking about having a location where they can bring football players, basketball, etc. to Stephenville, Texas, and house them in Stephenville. That they were having to stay in Granbury and Weatherford and Fort Worth, etc. So one of the things we included in this project is make sure the NCAA is okay with this project, and so they were part of the negotiations, making sure we met what they required. So Charlton's going to benefit out of this. It's also going to be, we have some new developers in town. Malcolm and Taylor, and I'm sorry, I forgot your other son, but if you want to mention, I want to mention them. They came into town, and I teased them the first time. I said, what did I call you? Chicago what? I called it there Chicago Mafia. Anyway, we visited, and he came to town, and he said, I'm going to do something different here. I got a vision for Stephenville, Texas. He's kept his word. He's done a good job, and he's going to talk a little bit in a little while, give him an opportunity to talk about his project. It includes the hotel that we're going to discuss here in a little bit. So I appreciate you coming. There's other projects like that. Jeff's been invited, and someone's going to go with him to a meeting in Dallas with the realtors, developers. They're going to come start looking at building houses in town, Stephenville, Texas, etc. So there's movement happening coming forward. So I want to say thank you for all that. I'm going to let Jerry and Paul talk a little bit about their project, kind of tell us there's some things they still can't discuss, but I'm going to let everybody here know, the newspapers are here, let them kind of get an idea of what your project looks like.
Sure. Thanks, Mayor. I really appreciate the city council, the city board, city staff working and really working through this over the last 60 to 90 days. We're excited to be here. We're asked why Stephenville. Stephenville's a very engaging community. You want to be in communities that want you and vice versa. Really a win-win proposition for SRH. We're a hospitality company. We love public-private arrangements. We've done several of those. Most recent one now being Stephenville. Really, this is something that we saw a niche and a void that wasn't being met within the community. The community's growing. Those are the best communities to be a part of. The community has seeing such a void and something that we can bring that can be engaging back to the university, to the community, to everyday folks. And I really want it to be a pride of the community. So we're excited to be here. I'm going to let Paul just kind of talk a little bit about the hotel or some dynamics of the hotel conference center.
So, thanks. Several months back when Malcolm and Taylor...
Paul's from East Texas.
Yeah. You got about 5,000 miles in that direction. So yeah, so I'm the hotel, we're the operating partner, and as Jerry said, this is a niche that we like. We only do business with the better brands, which is to say Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt. So we've been in conversation with those brands about a fit for Stephenville. But to be honest, several months ago when Malcolm and Taylor reached out to us to say, you know, there's a lot of things happening in Stephenville, we kind of heard that as well through some other family friends and business folks, and we thought, okay, so we need to go explore it. And when we came here, it was really an eye-opener as to what's happening in the community. And then when McCaslin Consulting was engaged to do the market feasibility study, our eyes were really opened. And I've known Randy McCaslin a long time, and they do feasibility studies for hotels like this with these types of amenities. And I would surmise that a number of folks in the room were actually part of the surveys and questionnaires and interviews that were done in the community. They came back to us, and Randy he's an old hotel guy, and he said, you know, I've never done one of these studies where there is so much opportunity in the meetings aspect. And they listed down something that totaled something like 1,299 events on an annual basis, some annual, some semi-annual, some monthly, quarterly, some weekly, that happen in this community that would give rise to a need that we're looking to fill. Not only hotel rooms, but also meeting space and exhibit space. And so we're at the stage now where we've got a design that we think works based upon the study. That will meet the community's needs mostly. You know, you can't build too much and then only fill it once a year. But at this stage, I mean, it's give or take 120 rooms, give or take 15,000 feet of meeting and exhibit space. And components that will include obviously a business center, a 3-meal restaurant, a bar, pool, and one of the top tier brands that will be the name on the building. We've had great conversations, as Jerry said, with the folks, with the board, Cedar and so forth, with the city, with Tarleton, and we have just been honestly blown away by the opportunity here that we almost keep looking over our shoulder thinking, well, is somebody following us, you know, but they're not, because we see this as really a unique opportunity for us and for the community that will, we think, as has happened in other communities that we've been in, like Pflugerville on the outskirts of Boston being a classic example. We did a similar facility there, opened up 2 years ago almost, and that's been a catalyst for growth in other businesses as well as other hotels. So as Jerry said, we're really excited to be here. We think it's the right fit at the right time, and based upon, you know, people other than us saying this is a great place to be, you know, we could not be happier about the opportunity. So
Describe the conference center.
So yeah, we just at this stage of the game, we're looking for a ballroom that will have something of the order of 6,000 square feet, which will be able to accommodate 500 folks for dinner, you know, with the dance floor and the stage. The ceilings will be high enough that we can accommodate the stage function. With breakout rooms and smaller meeting rooms, obviously that ballroom is divisible, and then some exhibit space such that we can cater to the types of business that would want to have a small exhibition or bring in equipment or vehicles and that kind of thing to really embrace what's here in the area. So, yeah.
It's a great project. If anybody has an opportunity right off of Loop 130, bypass around Austin, in Pflugerville, Texas, stop off and see their hotel. I remember walking in the first, you know, they challenged us to go see these hotels. They gave us several of them to look at. And so I happened to be coming back from Austin one day and stopped off and walked in the back door and was incredibly impressed. It's going to be a really nice facility. We appreciate you bringing it here. The city of Stephenville's asked, the citizens have asked for a long time for a conference center. They've also asked for a multi-purpose center. Well, that may be down the road. We'll see. At least we're getting the first part of that, and it's done through a public-private partnership. So the citizens of Stephenville don't pay for it. These gentlemen pay for it. And so it's going to be good for Stephenville, Texas. I want to congratulate the city council, city board, these gentlemen, the developers, everybody involved. This is going to be good for Stephenville. I can't imagine anything that's gonna be better that I've seen in the last few years that's more exciting. But this is just the kick, this is just the start. You know, Jeff mentioned it earlier, it's just the start. You just, you know, can't talk a lot. They always look at me and they go, this, don't say anything. And that's hard to do because it's exciting news, it's exciting news. And so what we've done is we've invited some of the landowners in Steamboat, Texas to be here. And we have a couple of them represented here. We've had Brandon, and Jeremy, and Jeff have been taking landowners around. One of the big questions we've always had is, what's the Steamboat gonna look like in the future? Well, you know, we have a future land use policy, and someone says, well, I wanna put houses out there, and the landowner says, no, I want a gas station, or I want a whatever. So what we've started to do is engaging the landowners and asking, what do you wanna do with your property? What, you know, and Jeff can say, well, here's the kind of calls I'm getting. So if you're a landowner, you wanna get in on the game, Brandon Huckabee, Jeremy Allen, Jeff, you see these fellas and talk to them. I want you to, because they can look at your property, look at what you're wanting to do, and say, how can we match that with the growth of Steamboat, Texas? Because there's infrastructure involved, there's all kinds of things to deal with. They can help you do that. So if you're interested, get a hold of one of these guys. It's a great thing. It's a great thing coming forward. So I want to say thank you to everybody here for coming. This was a cooperative deal, and I want to say how proud I am of CETA and the city staff working together. It was a long project, and there were some heated times. You know, we had to point our fingers a little bit and say, let's calm down, take a deep breath. And it all worked out. We've got a great product here today, and so we're proud to do that. One of the things I want to mention, we have one of our county commissioners here, and I just want to mention that there are opportunities for the city of Stephenville to cooperate with the county on some of these development projects as well. Because a lot of what goes on in Steamboat, Texas, well, as a matter of fact, all what goes on in Steamboat, Texas is taxed by the county as well. So there's some opportunities there, Joe. Bring that up with our new judge. So I want to is there anybody want to say, well, Malcolm, I'm sorry, why don't you come talk about the rest of your project? I'll mention that.
You know, I'm gonna let Taylor,
Okay, go on, Taylor,
Yeah,
show us what's going on.
Well, as you can see here, I'm Taylor Canute, by the way. Malcolm Canute's my father, business partner, and new business partner, my middle brother Marshall, has recently joined up with us and is going to be helping out on not only this project, but several other ones that we've been working on for quite a while here. This picture we got up here, when this all started a little over a year ago, it's actually the first time we met Ashley up in Dallas at the ICSC show. The project just consisted of this 5-acre tract down here, and we had a few retail pads that we envisioned and then a smaller hotel footprint. And after getting Paul and Jerry down here to take a look at the project and learning a little bit more about Tarleton and some of the needs of the town, we realized that hotel's not going to fit right there anymore. So we needed to go ahead and more than double the size of the project, go under contract with the property across the street, and come up with this new site plan that you see here right now. I'd also like to introduce, and they've kind of been our lost leaders on this project since the beginning, the Clossers, Mark and Cole, who own Barefoot Market here in town. Their new building, which is going to be roughly 15,000 square feet, sits right on this corner here. It's going to, this is the new rendering we have of it. It's going to be a pretty state-of-the-art facility. A lot of green energy. I know that's been a hot topic in the news lately, but it's going to be a really state-of-the-art facility, and everyone's going to enjoy shopping there. And it's going to provide a lot of healthy food options, lunch options. They have a cafe, a bar proposed in there, and I'm sure they can tell you more about it as well. But they, like I said, they've been our lost leaders on this since the beginning, and the hotel component. Now we envision more restaurants. We've been touring the market with some folks from the Fort Worth and Dallas area, trying to bring in some more businesses to add on to this and make it really a development that Stephenville, I think, really needs and will benefit from. Have a lot more retail options, restaurant options that everyone can take advantage of, not just the Tarleton students. And I'd also like to mirror what Mayor Savine said. This has really been a group effort since last November when we started this. Lots of meetings, lots of conference calls, you know, figuring out all the details. And I know we have a few members of STEDCO here today, David and Justin, and they have also been a tremendous help since the beginning. That hotel feasibility study that Paul mentioned, which really identified how many events could be held here and stuff stuff that is currently being lost to other markets that Stephenville could capture. Stedco stepped up and funded that study, which gave us some really good results and helped kind of shape that hotel that sits there right now. So we're continuing to work on this. This was a very large hurdle that we were glad to get finished, and glad to have these two here today proposing this project that will really help shape what Malcolm and I envisioned from the start on this. So we're just really happy to be here and be working on this, and couldn't be happier with the city and the city council and CETA and Stedco and everyone who's been, for a couple of out-of-town people, been very accommodating, and makes you pretty happy to do business in Stephenville. So I will leave it at that. And if you guys want to step up and just talk about your business for a minute or two, I'm sure everyone would love to hear what's coming. Phone call. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, currently the Barefoot Market, we took that over a year and a half ago, and saw a lot of opportunities in the healthier lifestyle market, not only with the students, but just people I dealt with at the yoga studio in different places. We just saw a need that needed to be expanded. So we started looking at just expanding the size of the store we were in, maybe moving to an existing location. And we also did a market study through a natural foods consultant, and came back that they felt like the markets were a lot bigger than we had originally planned for. So working with an architect and a store designer, came up with a plan with 7,500 square feet on the bottom level, upper deck. We'll hope to have a rooftop bar gathering area. Yoga studio will be on the top level with offices. We'll have a full grocery, organic produce. We'll still have the supplements, smoothie bar that we have. A lot more take and go, healthy options for people. What else?
Pretty much covers it.
Yeah, that about covers it. We're in the final design phase, waiting on the official drawings. We'll take the developers to get the bids done out and, secure all the financing, and hopefully we'll get under construction within 6 weeks, maybe 2 months max. So we're looking to break ground and have about a 6-month construction project. Have a new gathering place. We really want to emphasize the community gathering space. It'll be this is the patio side. It'll face the corner of Harbin and Swan. A lot of outdoor seating, those kind of things, and also, like I said, the upper deck for extended seating and parties and those kind of things. So we want to really develop not only a place where we can help educate the community on healthy lifestyle, but also a meeting place for the community, not just students, but all the community members. So we're happy to be working on the project. Jeff, Chamber of Commerce, and everyone's been great to work with, and we look forward to having a new store for you real soon. Thank you, guys.
I also don't want to forget, I forgot to introduce July over here. President Chamber of Commerce has also been involved. They've been doing recruiting for Stephenville for many years, and I appreciate July participation. Stephenville has a lot of needs. As a matter of fact, I think, Mark, what was the number we came up with?
Way too much.
$119 million of needs, and that isn't everything. That's just the big stuff. We can't tax our way out of that problem. There's no way to do that. We can only do it by growing our way out of it. And that's what this project is about, is growing our way out of that problem. So there's some opportunities here for some people to step up. If you want to get involved, I'm going to encourage you to get involved quick so you don't get left behind. Things are going to start happening fast. And when they do, everybody's going to benefit from it when that happens, because other things occur. Jen will have better recreation facilities. We'll have better activities for our folks in the community. Everybody benefits from this. And so I'm excited about it. I hope y'all are excited about it. And let's get on. And I want to say again, thank you, Kenny. All right. That's all I had. Anybody have any questions? I guess it's going to be a press conference. I'm going to ask Jeff anything he wants, or Alan. Anybody have any questions? Got the paper here. I said, no, I thought y'all had a lot of them.
Any idea when you guys will break ground on the hotel?
Probably spend the next, it'll take about 10 to 14 months to kind of design, plan it, and then it'll 14 months to construct it.
Big project. Get ready, you got some others that are on it, you're probably gonna hear about real soon. Keep in touch. We appreciate everybody being here, really do. This is exciting for Stephenville. It's really exciting for Stephenville, Texas.
It's a catalyst.
It's a catalyst. You know, success breeds success. And you know, when you get on the winning track, it's hard to lose. And that's where we are right now. So I appreciate everybody being here today. Gerald, particularly, you were the president of CEDA for and it went right on at the get-go. We are also here today partly because of all the work that you did. I appreciate that as well.
Mayor, can I ask a question?
Ask a question.
Are y'all excited about it?
Yes.
Are you? I knew the answer, but I just want to say that with everything, you have to celebrate. Small things, big things. Brandon, we talked about this, the council's talked about this. You have to celebrate, and you have to be our voices out there. We can only do so much. As I said, most of the things that all of us do are behind the scenes. We're doing all the work until the announcement. You have to celebrate and get people fired up about it. A community that's fired up, a community that's working together, that's ready for growth and progress is going to be one that receives growth and progress. So we need your help, everyone in this room, to go out there and be the spokesmodels for us in terms of getting this message out there. Not just this project, but all that's coming, and get excited about it.
I got one more question. Ashley, is it closed next Tuesday's, we're full yet, or we still taking?
No, I still have room.
That's another thing, is some of the needs that we have, we're gonna try to get some money from outside the city of Stephenville. And so we're having an Austin Day next Tuesday. And if you're interested in going and walking the halls of Congress in Austin, you're welcome to do that, and you'll get to see how our government works. We have some specific issues we're gonna try to raise and see if we can find some money. You know, I told somebody the other day, who's in appropriations, I said, you know, we send a whole lot more money down here than we get back. We just want some of it back. And so that's what we're gonna do next Tuesday in Austin, is see if we can get some of that money back. We also, on the 20th of February in this room, we're gonna have our U.S. Congressman here, and he'll be talking about the state of the nation. And so the things he's gonna come before, and he told me, he said, well, Nancy kind of screwed it up, so he had to go back to Washington. And so he'll be here on the 20th, and we invite everybody to come listen to him as well. We've already put in some requests there also. Everybody, our president keeps talking about $1 trillion infrastructure program. I don't count that many zeros, that's a lot of zeros. You know, we're gonna try to see if we can get our part, some of that come back to Stephenville, Texas. And so we're gonna go to Washington and do the same thing in Washington. It's a whole lot easier actually to get it in Washington than it is here. So there's a lot going on. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Kenny,
Mayor.
Gerald, for y'all's work.
If I can for just a minute, jump on the cheerleading, because one of the things that we as CEDA want to come out of this room is a message for our citizens about why they should be so excited about this project. Because for us, we kind of look back and wonder, where was that tipping point? Because for decades in Stephenville, we've all talked about we believe. We believe in you, Stephenville. But what we're seeing now is that message is coming in from outside sources too, that have come in and they've been checking us out, and they say, we see it too, and we believe too. And that tipping point, I think, happened back when we had a council and a mayor who emphasized to us the importance of putting together a team that focused on economic development, that was dedicated to serving the citizens and helping us grow to our potential and helping others recognize those things about us. And in May of 2015, the voters overwhelmingly said, yes, go to it, get to work. And it's been a bit of a slow process setting that up and figuring out what does that look like. But it is, people have taken note. It's more than just, we're telling people we're open for business. It's happening now. And so it's hard sometimes to be in that quiet zone. And so we are excited, and we want the citizens of Stephenville to be excited too. So,
Thank you.
that's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
You can't be quiet.
I can't come to one of these without saying.
Yeah. You're the floor.
I've been here 2 years as your city manager, and when I came to work here, Kenny Weldon sat down with me when we were talking about economic development and said, we're 25 years behind the 8 ball in this. Kenny, we're in the game now.
Thank y'all so much for coming. I appreciate y'all being here. And thank y'all for being here.